Welcome back to episode 10 of the Cowboys Culture Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the culture. My name is Ethan. This is my brother Jacob and our co-host and good buddy Steven. Thank you for joining us again. We are here right after week 1, and we're here to talk about some interesting stuff. And before we do that, let's hear about our sponsor, Steven.
Yeah, so once again, big thank you to Coy Wilson and 360 Roofing and Restoration. Any roofing needs that you have in the DFW Metroplex, Coy Wilson is the man to call. So, like Ethan said, we just came off of a week 1 banger.
Banger.
All right, so
Great way to start the season.
We go out to the Meadowlands. We obviously, we absolutely destroyed them. We're the best team in the NFL after week 1. It was a 40-burger. It was 40-0. We talked about the defense in the last episode, man. I want to talk a little bit about the offense in this episode.
Big O, baby.
You know, quickly on what we learned. What we learned about the offense was, from the little bit we got to see them,
They're incredible. They're great.
They're still pretty hot. Dak with 143 yards, man, kind of got let down by a few receivers. Both tight ends let him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I say though, Dak went out there and he took care of business. You know, he walked down the field a few times and got Tony close enough to get in. Tony Pollard was 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb was 77 yards.
I would have liked to see a CeeDee Lamb touchdown.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, hey, they didn't need it.
Yeah,
so he didn't get it, man. He was
Kevontae Turpin got a touchdown, which I thought was kind of interesting but cool.
From the running back position, he lined up at running back and got pitched too. So it was it was cool.
I would have liked to see. Hey, Peyton Hendershot.
Man,
he put that one in your face mask.
That was on a rope, Peyton.
You got to catch that bad boy. You got to make your quarterback look good, so you can't have clowns like Stephen A. Smith bashing him. Because you didn't catch that ball. Yeah,
I mean, speaking of tight ends, you got Jake Ferguson, who had a catch in the first half of 10 or 11 yards. He's kind of supposed to be the tight end. He's supposed to be like our guy, and he did really well in the blocking game. There was one play where he just absolutely came across the line and blew somebody up.
Schoonmaker had some good blocks too.
Schoonmaker had some good blocks. Yes, I mean the tight ends play well in that area. Of course, Peyton Hendershot doesn't really participate in that area. Even though they tell me he's the best blocking tight end we have.
Also, we had that drop from Kevontae.
Yep.
Didn't we? Where he kind of
he makes you nervous,
kind
man.
of flat to get a first down.
Yep.
It was like that where you could get a first and goal and get a touchdown, and he just dropped it.
Yeah.
So that was a bit underwhelming.
People are going to talk about Dak's completion percentage and things like that.
Nope. Hey, no interceptions, people.
Yeah,
I thought that was his thing.
He finished the game with 0 interceptions after everybody saying he was going to throw at least 2. And
I thought that was his thing.
His completion percentage wasn't the greatest. It was like 50. But like we're talking about, these 4 drops, he threw 24 passes. Those 4 drops should have been
one
caught.
of them for 49 yards.
Yeah, those if you talk about if those 4 passes that were on the money are caught, we're talking like a 70% completion percentage. The dude didn't really have to go out there, and we're talking about that type of completion percentage in pouring rain. I mean, the dude's having to wipe. He's got like a plastic guard that he's having to clean off because it's getting water in it, and it's hard to see. And so I mean, it's just. People talk about Dak's performance. It's ridiculous. He didn't even have to do anything. Why take risks when you're up 25 points, to fit balls into, tight windows and stuff like that?
We were past the 6-minute mark before Dak got his first drive of 2023, okay?
Yeah.
If you think it took if you're going to bash Dak Prescott for not having some heroic performance against
that
whatever happened in that New York game,
whoever Wink Martindale is,
right, and whoever a lot of those guys are, I'm just so this is kind of off the offense. I'm just so beaten by Darren Waller's great.
He'll be on the PUP list or on the IR list in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so. I mean Daniel Jones. how he got out of there alive, we'll never know. But as far as the offense is concerned, got our first play calling action out of Mike, and I thought he called a good game.
I thought it was super creative.
I thought he called a methodical game. Each play set up the next play, whether it was successful or not. You knew what he was trying to do. He was really confusing defense. He was really confusing secondaries on some of those passes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Tony played like Tony plays.
Oh man,
So.
Tony.
Well, like
I thought real quick. I thought that Tony Pollard was supposed to. We don't know what he's going to be because the injury and everything. Man, he showed you that one play. The limited of time our offense had the ball because our defense was scoring and special teams were scoring so much, and Daniel Jones was getting destroyed. Tony Pollard took off for a couple of he averaged 5 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
People. 2 touchdowns.
Two touchdowns with only 14 carries in the game.
Yeah, and I was going to say something about
unbelievable.
that because there's a couple things there. Number one, on the play calling of Mike McCarthy, we saw some creativity and different things that we never saw and always wanted to see. You look at how many times we ran out, different types of like outside runs, creative types of screens.
Yeah, it was very innovative.
Those types of things. And you think about it, we were doing this in a situation where they knew we were up 30 points and weren't going to really do anything downfield. They knew we were going to do some short stuff to keep Dak upright. And we still saw some creativity and we're still able to put things together. And to me, that's a very positive sign because imagine when we get in situations where the whole playbook's open, right? Yeah. I'm excited to see that. But also, when we're talking about Pollard, what was one of the big knocks about Pollard when we let go of Elliott was,
can he carry the load?
Can he carry the load? And what are the Cowboys going to do when it's first and goal at the 2-yard line? They don't have Zeke anymore. Pollard got 2 carries, first and goal on the goal line, and had two carries in the goal line situation and got 2 touchdowns. So I think Pollard went out there, silenced the haters. And another thing that I was encouraged about was going like off of what Steven said. When you looked at the plays that we had in the passing game, or there was a takeaway I had from the passing game and the running game. The passing game was it seemed like it was simplified in Dak's mind. It's like this scheme, this play, there's a purpose for this play, there's something that's supposed to happen, and I know it's supposed to happen. And he seemed like he was confident, and it was like either it was there and it worked, or they got us on this one. I'm just going to throw it away. It wasn't like a lot of holding on the ball and trying to force something.
Yeah, good point, Jake.
It was like we're scheming this. We're creating this scheme to get this dude open, and if it's not open, move on to the other day. We're not trying to make a perfect read here. Just here's the play. Here's how it's supposed to work. It seemed like Dak and Mike McCarthy were in sync on that regard, and we're calling those types of plays at the right time. And then for the running game, it was
each read in the passing game. Each read you could tell as Dak's going through progressions, you can tell you're going to get a similar outcome in that play, no matter which read Dak chooses to go with.
Yeah, so, it's like we're scheming somebody open here.
This is a downfield play. This is a mid slot play.
And the person is schemed open, so there's actually an open guy. It's not like I have to somehow fit this in between 3 defenders like it was under Kellen. And then when it comes to the running game, it looks like maybe
Kellen played. He called a great game.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe it's Solari, or maybe it's Schottenheimer. But when you looked at the running game, what I saw is just really good execution. It seemed like everybody knew what their assignment was for blocking, even having some backup dudes in there at O-line at some points in the game. We were blocking really well. We were setting up really creative, different types of runs, not just running up the middle first and second down, just see what we can make happen. Execution was great. Pollard was getting some good openings, and it was very few of those like we were all accustomed to seeing back in the day. Good old Kellen was up, first down, we're up the gut, up 2nd and 12.
No, dude, they had some great defensive play calls, offensive play calls in the run game, man. It was so cool watching, like, Tony's running behind tight ends and stuff, you know, and that was it's just really cool. I mean, you're watching literally the offensive line is opening a hole for a tight end, and I remember Jake Ferguson, Big Ferg gets Pollard behind him and just blows somebody up through like on the left side of the line. He comes all the way across the line, comes through a hole, and then just destroys somebody out in the second level, and Tony's gone.
I was gonna say also, it looked like the type of I guess formations and like blocking from our O line were like different. Like our O line moved different.
That's true.
It looked everything about our offense looked more sophisticated and more methodical and more conservative. Yeah. But, I mean, we still had 3 touchdowns, and we honestly should have had 4 or 5. Because we have to kick a field goal because of – I think we kicked a field goal for it, or did we punt? I'm sure we kicked a field goal when Hendershot didn't catch that ball.
Yeah,
and then we kicked a field goal when – what's his name? Turpin didn't catch that out route or whatever, a flat route or whatever.
And we were being conservative.
And that's 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, you know, that's – 2 passing touchdowns for Dak, 2 touchdowns, would have been 2 touchdowns for Tony Pollard, and then a rushing. These are separate occasions, So I mean, this could have been even worse of a game. And I think we were talking about this before. You're not when your defense scores like as many points as we did, and our special teams score as many points as we did. You're not gonna be throwing deep balls out there. You know, you're going to be playing conservative,
especially
like
in the
we
rain.
did. And hey, we didn't even have Tyler Smith out there, and our blocking was incredible. Our O line was incredible.
Yeah, I was going to say one quick thing. I didn't mean to cut you off, but because you remember and this is something we talked about in previous episodes. Last year we were like 28th in pass block win rate. This year against the Giants, who apparently have an insane D line and also have Wink Martindale
and Dexter
as
Lawrence,
their defensive coordinator. And Dexter Lawrence,
and Kayvon Thibodeau.
We have Tyler Smith, our a stud left guard out, and we still, what did Dak had like 3 QB hits,
0 sacks,
0 sacks, 3 QB hits. We kept
sacks.
Dak upright the whole game.
Yep, we got all the way to a third stringer. On the offensive line.
Yeah, and still.
And so, I said this about in episode, I think it was 7 or 8 or whatever. Go back and watch those, by the way. I thought those were your boys. I thought those defensive guys were – I thought Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence, I thought those guys were going to set the tone and really put it on us, and they got niche, number 1. Number 2,
those are nobody in this league.
I thought Tony Pollard wasn't going to be able to carry the load because without Ezekiel Elliott. But now you're understanding what he meant. What he said. You like Michael Parsons said. You thought this was a game. No, Tony Pollard was for real when he said, "You call it, I'm a haul it." So remember that when we next teams that we play. So
all right. Yeah, I mean, okay. So
that's the offense, baby.
Yeah, that's the offense. Oh yeah, and one last thing to add to the offense. You know who's still great?
Who is it?
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith.
Oh my gosh,
he was really good.
Yeah, he was awesome. So let's wrap it up. What we learned about the offense is they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, we didn't get to see too much, but what we did see was great, and so
thanks a lot, Micah.
Yeah, thank you, Micah.
But anyway, yeah, just finishing it up. Man, we're so happy to be growing. We love the Cowboys. We love that you love the Cowboys. Hit us up in the comments on our YouTube channel. Check us out on Spotify. We're on Instagram. Come follow us, man. Always doing giveaways. Got one coming up in the Jets week. So yeah, let's get with us. And Ethan, you want to help us out and get us out of here?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like all the videos. Comment on all the videos. Tell us what you think. If you disagree, if you agree, we would love to chat with you about it. Let us know what direction you would like CCP to go. If you want to see something different, if you want to see the same thing, if you're loving it, let us know. Follow us on Instagram at Cowboys Culture Podcast. like all our photos, watch all our stories. We try and stay as involved as we can. DM us, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.